Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today we're going to be working inside Artistly 6, and I'm going to be showing you some things that you can do, some things you can tweak, things you can add to refine your prompt and refine your images and to help them stand out. I do a lot of videos on this, but you're going to learn a few things and places that you can tweak and add to, and sometimes we're going to take away from, and to get different looks. But anyway, so let's jump in. We're inside the Fast AI Image Designer in Artistly 6, and I'm just going to go over here into my personal designs just so I can show you kind of what I've been working on. Okay, so I want to say this at the beginning of this one because one of the videos that I did a while back, and it was taking your old prompts and breathing new life into them. I did a series of lions, and I was playing with my new animal playbook. I believe that was the one I was using. But anyway, I got a little bit carried away, and one of my one of my viewers, pointed this out. And what it was I was working with the prompt, and then I swapped to lions, and it put a lot of jewelry on the lion that has a mane, which is a boy, a lion. And so those, while they looked really cute, they reminded me that the lions with the mane, probably wouldn't be wearing the jewelry and the brooch. But anyway, it's okay. They were cute images, and I was deep into video mode, and I didn't even pay it any attention. It was just an animal that I was playing with. So anyway, so we have a lion here. We're going to play with him in a few minutes with some different types of things. So let's just look at what I've been doing. Okay, so I've been working on some different images, and I just wanted to kind of start and show you where I went with it. Okay, so I wanted to show you the difference between and talk about a little bit more, because sometimes we forget this. We're in a hurry, we go in, and now that Artistly especially has all these different generators, we can go over here to AI Art Illustrator, and we can type, I'm just going to go down to one of the ones I use a lot. We can type just a very simple subject in. We can just say a cat, or a black cat. Okay? And so we're going to create that black cat. Now, since we just said a black cat, we did not give it any parameters specifically. So, to me, the image that it comes up with, this is the Grunge Scrapbook AI generator inside Artistly. This is what it sees when you ask for a black cat. So this is its interpretation. This is 100%. This is not me. A black cat is not me really doing anything with that prompt, okay? So that's the basis of what we're going to be talking about. How we end up making it our own through our choices. I mean, a black cat, that's super simple, but I didn't tell it what kind of black cat. I didn't tell it, the way that the cat was I really did not give it very many parameters, so I don't feel like this is a prompt that is mine, regardless of which one of the Illustrator generators. For instance, we can go back in, and I could go over here, and it's a black cat, and I could go into the whimsical storybook. Okay, so let's see what that does. And I'm not saying that the AI cannot give you a good image. This is a good image of a photorealistic cat. It's just not what I wanted, but it's what I asked for. I asked for that. I didn't ask for anything specific, so it gave me what its interpretation was. Okay, so we changed up, and it's going to take a second for that to do. So the basics are, okay, so this, because it's the whimsical storybook style. Now let me explain a little bit to those of you that are new, or maybe you've forgotten how these work. So the whole basis for the AI Illustrator generators was to get very particular images, particular styles and stuff. And I don't know why this one in particular always has some kind of nonsense writing up here. It just seems like it always does. Now you can take that off, and this is kind of cute. It kind of looks like a little hand-drawn, whimsically looking thing. But it's still, to me, I would not like claim this as being my image, because all I said was a black cat, and it gave me its interpretation of it. Okay, so that's how those work. But the AI illustrators, and this is something to keep in mind, it's really hard inside of certain ones of these illustrator styles to get anything super unique, even with the most detailed prompt. It's still going to lean very heavily in one direction. You know, you've got several different versions or techniques of watercolor inside. If we go back in and we select, let's just say we select this one. Now, we do not have watercolor mentioned anywhere, and it may or may not actually present that in a watercolor. Sometimes those do, and sometimes they don't. It's a little tricky. But, okay. So this does have somewhat of a watercolor look. And that's actually a cute cat. But again, if I try to recreate this now, and this is where a lot of people get really confused about trying to get things that would belong in the same group of images, like for a clip art pack or something like that. They get confused because they have a very simple prompt like this, and then they ask it to make another image, and it may or may not be something that potentially could belong in a group together, like in a pack. So the consistency is totally different. Now this one, okay, this one would. But that third or fourth image, when you're trying to create it, a lot of times is going to, like for instance, this one has the cream background. This one has, you know, more flowers and stuff like that. It does have a different look. But a lot of times what you find after you try to, it may last and it may hold that for like 2 or 3 images. But then the generator decides that a black cat looks different, and they may go into a totally different look, and that's when you lose your consistency. It doesn't hold it as easily as if when you are specifying those things. And that sounds like a kitty cat, but it's not. It's my puppy. She's snoring, which sounds like a little growl. Anyway, so let's go back to what I was saying. Okay, so now that we have determined that that is the way that this particular program works, we can talk then about the things that we should do when we want to create unique images and we want our things to, you know, look differently. That's why my playbooks are out there, to give you wording and phrasing so that you can mix and match it together like ingredients, and you can come up with unique prompts that are yours. Okay, so basically I started with the black cat, but now let me see if I can. Okay, so then I went into the playbook, and I'm redoing this whole intro to the video, mainly because when I did it the first time, I was doing it out in my studio, which is out in our barn that has a 10. It's not really a barn. It used to be a pole barn, but now it's all closed in. It's a nice, big, huge, nice room and a workshop. And I went out there, and I thought that all the weather was gone for the day, and it came a storm. And so I have about a 30-minute intro. I did this where I created all these and I talked to y'all. But y'all, it has a tin roof, and it was so loud when I played it back, I was like, I can't use that. So anyway, so basically I took this, and we'll take this, which was out of the playbook, and we're going to change up the so instead of just a black cat, we're going to add this, a stylized black cat wearing a narrow mint. This is straight out of this is one of the sample prompts. I just added the black cat part of it in there. Okay, so now we've got sort of a retro looking cat. 1950s greeting card character. So we've got that look, which is super cute. But then I went in and I adjusted. So I added, next I went over and I removed part of it and just kept and added this simple Nordic inspired design. Okay, so we're going to go back up here and we're going to just add that. So we're going to regenerate. And we're going to move all that. And then we're going to put this in the beginning of it. Okay, so now it has given us this style. Okay, so we can also go down here, and this is another thing that you can do when you get kind of a look you like. You can also change the aspect ratio. I've talked about this in the past, and it will give you a different little look. So now we have our cat. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down here because we're going to add a little something else. And all of this is from the, okay. So I'm going to add and a straw hat, oversized head relative to the body. So we're going to change it up now and add this to the back of it. This is actually two little stages here. Okay, and we're going to do it like this. This 9:16 aspect ratio. And you're going to see how it changes the image. Okay, so in this one in particular, it did not do the head quite as big as maybe we want. So what we can do is, if we do want the oversized head to show out, this is another trick. When you're doing these, a lot of times you can, if something doesn't look exactly the way you want it to, you can always take and change it in the prompt, so you can change the location of it. That's why a lot of times, you know, when I read, and even inside my playbooks, I do have some formulas, you know, like we'll say put the subject here, put this here, put that here. It works sometimes, so I give them to you because that kind of helps you have a base to work with. Okay, so now we end up with a different look. But sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you just have to play with it, you know. So you may want to play with this one in particular. What we can do is add the word large head relative to the skinny body. Now we're going to go into, there we go. And you see how that worked. You know, we get the skinny body. The head's still not huge, but it does give us a different look. Sometimes your prompt is not going to match exactly what you tell it to do, but it can still produce some really cool images. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the new Christmas playbook, okay? And I'm gonna select, let's do the Vintage Storybook Christmas, and we're going to look for some things to add to this, okay? So, there's our color directions. Okay, so here's some fabric, wood, and prop phrases. So we can do a soft wool coat with a visible weave, a hand-knitted scarf with uneven stitches, a worn felt hat. Let's do the soft wool coat. Okay, and we're going to see how that changes it, okay? We're going to leave the bow and see. Okay. And we're going to say, we're going to remove that one and leave the other one. And we're going to say, wearing soft wool coat with visible weave. Okay, and let's just see what that does. Okay, so this one did not work at all. It did not add that coat. So we've got to go back. It's still a cute image. I would probably still use that image, but we didn't get our coat. So let's look at where we need to go. We need to go back up here. We've got the wearing the narrow mint green satin bow and the straw hat. I think we need to make all of this and a soft wool coat with a visible weave. So let's try that. You wouldn't think that a couple of words make a difference, but they do. There we go. So now we've got our coat. We've got our somewhat skinny cat. How cool is that? Look at that. Wool coat still has the bow and everything. And now what we can do is we can go back in and we can basically try to work on styling, because we really do not have like watercolor or anything like that added in. So we don't really have like a color, a art style necessarily. We've got the Nordic inspired design, but we're really not giving it anything in specific as far as the colors, art style. So let's see if we can find that in here. Okay, so we have some here. That's the texture. We don't want the texture. Oh my goodness, y'all. I tell you, some videos are just harder than others to get out. Sometimes I'm on a roll and I can just go right through them, and then other times we have phone calls and we have puppies that get all aggravated and start barking. And we have rainstorms like we did when I tried to do this video before. So anyway, let me try to find where I had left off. I think I was looking for some things to add to our, where were we at? Let's see. We have the cat, and we wanted to go in, and we want to go into the Christmas one. So let's see. I believe that's where I was at. So let me get back into things. Okay, locked palette. Retro Christmas. Okay, so let's do we're looking for a style to add here. And let's see here. Direct art styles. Let's do this loose watercolor with warm earthly pigment. We can try some of these. I'm going to put this at the beginning because we kind of need to. Okay. Let's see how this changes things. Okay. Alright, so as you see, these are really glossy, and this did tone down the glossiness of the eyes a little bit. And you can see here a little bit more watercolory look. So now let's go back in and let's change it and try this hand-painted folk art treatment and see what we get. I'm just going to try up a few different styles. Now, I have not changed I haven't changed the actual generator, which is also a way that you can always try to see what a difference, because each one of the generators actually interpret your prompts differently. Okay, but we just want to compare some things. Okay, so now that's more of a folky look. Let's regenerate this one now in let's just say in the watercolor inspired. Let's see what this looks like. I'm just trying to show you kind of the differences that you can do. See what a difference now? Now we've really worked into something. We have the exact same prompt, but we have a much different and much cuter look. Look how cute that is. That would be so, so cute. But that shows you how much differently the different styles can render. Let's go over to, this is the one that we just did. Let's do this one. Change it up. And do that same one and see what that one looks like. So what you can usually tell when I do things as I progress with them, how much, I'm adding to, oh, how cute. See, the two of these really are cute. There's not a ton of difference between them, but I love those. Both of those could actually belong in the same, even though they had subtle differences in the prompting, they actually look like they would curate well together in a pack. So I'm gonna, since I probably will want to use this one, don't freeze it and try to use that exact prompt to get that. Work it around and use your own things, and try not to use this one, because I can see myself doing something with these. Now, just to kind of go back, we can take and we can, let's go back to the Christmas one. And let's look at this. Let's look at and see if we can the whimsical. Let's do the storybook. So let's add something, a different little thing. These are style cues. So let's do storybook realism with playful exaggeration. Let's add that to it and see if that does anything to it. And then we're going to also render that one in this watercolor inspired design. And as you can see, I've been working out of the Christmas book, but you can see this is not necessarily Christmas at all. Aren't they cute? Now, if we want to add more Christmas elements, then we look for the more specific holiday things, like changing up the colors. Let's see. Let's add these colors in and see what this changes, how this changes it. Okay, so we're going to go in and we're going to add these colors, and I'm just going to add them to the end right here. Okay, it added a little bit of color, not a lot, but a little. So let's look at the prompt and let's see if we can determine. Soft wool coat, okay. Wool coat with visible, okay. We're going to remove the straw hat. And the narrow mix. Okay. We're going to take all that out, and then we're going to have the soft wool coat, mulberry colored coat. Okay, so now we have the little wool coat, and we have a Nordic design on it, which is really cute. We did away with the straw hat, but what we can do is we can go back in, and now we can hand painted folk art treatment. So taking out that other stuff with the straw hat allowed some of the other things to come in. So, black cat, stylized. We're going to add oversized eyes. And then let's look back here and see if there's something else we can do. Let's add this soft watercolor expressive pencil detail and see what that does. So let's find where we have that. Hand painted folk art treatment. Paste it right there. Okay. Let's see what kind of look we get. Ah, that changed it a bit. How cute. Look at the little detail here. And we can try it in some different ones of the, I really like that one. But let's just say we want to try this prompt in the doodle style, just to see what it does. I mean, a lot of times if you ever get one really good prompt, you can just try it on for different. See, look at that, how cute that is. You can try it on within the different illustrators and get totally different looks. I mean, you would not know that this is the exact same prompt that gave you this. And yet you could build an entirely different clip art pack or whatever kind of art. You know, you could do stickers with this one. And you've not had to go through all that. So now you just go over here and you choose, give me 3 images. And you choose what, you know, how you want them. And you can get a whole, because you've got it down then. You've got what you need to build your pack with. See, so cute. Really cute. Now these look more like sweaters, but, you know, than a jacket, but so be it. They're really cute. They would make really cute little stickers or something like that. And see, so now what else could you do? Could you use the exact same one and take it into creating a different type of product based on a different one of the illustrators? Because like I said, all of these are trained to interpret differently, right? So we could try the steampunk journal and see what that looks like. Look at that. Now that is actually very cute and totally different. And we're still not, I mean, none of this is specifically Christmas. But we can make it Christmas. You know, we can use all of these things to then go further. And that's the great thing about this Christmas playbook. You're going to get so many other things that you can use without it, you know, necessarily being, okay, Christmas. Okay, so we're going to use this stitched felt character appearance just because it's fun. And we're going to, we'll do it with this one and see how it turns out. I've had some that turned out really cool and some that you couldn't hardly tell it. So again, it's all to do with the exact prompt, not the prompt, but the generator that you're generating it in. But that's the real fun, though. I mean, all of these cats are so cute. Look at how cute they are. They really are very cute. Okay, so let's see this one. Open it up in a new tab here for you so I can enlarge it. Oh, okay. So if you can see these little details that look like it's sewn, like it's felt sewn, which is really cute. You see the detail? Right here, where you see the stitches? How cool is that? What can you do with that? And the playbooks are full of so many just amazing details that you can add. Okay, so let's look and see if there's a different something that we can do. Let's do this quilted picture book texture. Okay, let's try that. Let's try it with this one. And we're gonna change it and use the steampunk journal. We're going to add this right here to the beginning of it. Okay. And see what the quilted turns out like. Some of them, like I said, some of them work really well, and some of them you have to keep testing it with the different generators to see which one's going to work for you. Now, I'm not sure about quilted, but I love the way it turned out. I guess it is quilted. You've got the different pieces here. And yet, for about the third interruption, sorry about that. Okay, but so this is really a cute image though, so I like it. I could work right from that and keep on. So what we're going to do, we're going back in. And now we're going to try to look for some Christmas specific things that we can do. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see here what we want to do. It has everything, lighting and atmosphere. Such cute things. Okay, let's see. Some formulas to play with. Okay, so I may take some of these. Let's see. Creamery wool coat, snowy basket of parcels. Okay, I'm just going to grab this and we're going to put it in here. Okay, so what we're going to do is put this do the one mitten and the looking back. Basket of parcels. Okay. So let's see what that does to it. Now this one still actually has the quilted part included. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a basket, but that basket is kind of out of whack. So let's go back in and tweak it. So we're in the cat is holding a basket of parcels. And we're going to put this up here. With the visible weave, we're going to take that and put it with the basket. Go backwards. Okay. Whoops. Let's do this one again. Do it in the right aspect ratio so it matches the others. Okay. Oh, that's cute though. There we go. So now we have our cat. Cute little expression, holding a basket with the parcels in it. Packages, basically. Look how cute. And then we could easily take and remove the background off of there. We have a mulberry jacket here. How cute. How absolutely cute. Okay, so now let's go back to the beginning, and let's see if we can change up just a little bit. 6. Okay, right here we have, let's go over into the animals one, and let's go there, and let's choose a different style of animal. The style guide, let's change it to now we do have the simple, but we're gonna go to a different one. Let's go to the chibi. Okay. Let's put these together. And we're going to put that here. Let's go up. Regenerate this one. Okay, and we've got it. Folk art treatment. Nordic inspired design. We're just going to put this right at the beginning and see what we get. See if we get a different shaped cat. And then we're going to play with changing our character out. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cute. Cute, 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 cute. A little holiday going on. Now, this would even be cute as a card as is, you know, but we've got a little wrap. So super cute, super, super cute. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to change it up, and instead of a black cat, we're going to try to change out the actual animal. So let's go and find everywhere it talks about it being a black cat. A stylized black cat, and we're going to make it a raccoon. Okay, so let's see how that does, because this is how you build, and you build from it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it changes out and it looks great, and oh, how cute. Now the raccoon really is cute, really cute. Now, can we start taking a few things away? So we can take the quilted picture book texture away. We can keep the soft hand painted relative. We can remove that. The oversized eyes and the Nordic design, we can take all that away. And we can see what it does. So not only do you add, but you can also go back and you can refine by beginning to move and eliminate certain things, to go backwards in the styling to see what that does. So we see that we got a little bit more balanced character. It didn't change it a lot, and you could still use those in the same thing, but this is the way you can continue to do. Okay, so we go here, and we go into the classic traditional Christmas. Let's go to the classic traditional Christmas illustration and add that in and see what that does. Because even the slightest little description, now you don't want to, now we're going to redo the chibi. We'll take that out and see what changing it with this does. Look at that. How cool is that? Whole totally different look. So you can use the animals playbook, and you can use the Christmas one. You can interchange them. Use bits and pieces from all of them. I mean, you're basically, with your library, you're collecting the different things, and so many different phrases, so many different combinations that make up the phrases. You can add to the phrase, like combine different ones all together. You can break them up and use just pieces of the phrases. You can use pieces of and change up the sample prompts. So you can start with that one and then take away the things you don't want out of it and then replace them with the things you do. So the playbooks really just give you sort of a lift up and a head start so that you can just start adding things and taking things away. And let's just kind of look back over what cool images we were able to create. Some of these would be so cute for just everyday things. And it all started with, a black cat. This isn't usually what we're wanting when we say black cat. This is not really what we're meaning. We're meaning all the other illustrations. Here's some that I did before. Look how cute he is. Now this is winter. It's Christmas winter, so this is a little winter Christmas fox. Or not necessarily Christmas, but it could be at Christmas or it could be just any time. Look how cute the little boots are and everything. So, like I said, these playbooks they play well together, especially if you're doing little animals and stuff. But remember, you can apply all of these same techniques to doing characters, human characters. You can also use these things to do other stuff, like doing Christmas bulbs and adding the different things to that. Let's try one of those just to show you. I'm going to take the box out. We don't need anything about the knitted beanie or anything like that. So we're going to take all that out. So we have all of these. Okay. You don't need a plaid scarf, but we can keep all the colors. And then let's say we want to find something. Let's see. Let's see here. We could do the smooth hand-painted ceramic Christmas ball and add it in. Okay. So we're going to leave that in the 1-to-1. So it's not just animals you can do, you can apply the textures, you can apply a lot of the different things to objects. So look how cute that is. So we could go and we could do a ceramic Christmas candy cane ornament. Okay, and let's do this one like that and see what that does. So literally your imagination is the only limitation. Look how cute that is. How cute, 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 cute. You could also leave the same thing, but let's apply it to a Christmas tree. We can remove the Christmas tree. It may put a Christmas tree on something ceramic. So we'll just have to test the prompt and see. Nope, look how cute that is. Christmas tree. Like a little porcelain Christmas tree. That is super cute. So you could do, you could do a couple of images like that. Look how cute. So definitely worth a look if you don't already own that one, or if you own some of the other playbooks. The concept of how I do this with my prompts and how I build my prompts and the strategy behind building the prompts is all the same. Look, but you have to know. I mean, just a book of sample prompts and a book of phrasing and objects and things like that, unless you know and kind of begin to learn how to piece them all together and what might look together, things that I'm sure most of what I did, you may not have even thought that to combine. And that's the really cool thing about this. And honestly, it's just a lot of fun, honestly, because with that one-time pay, you can do so many different trials and you can work through it and you don't have to stress about, yes, they have like a, what is it? Maybe misspeaking, 400 maybe? I don't know. You can get with them about how many per day. I mean, I do videos and I do my own stuff and I still, most of the time, am able to, do it really without a lot of trouble. I mean, I always take it that I make so many images that if I run out or it tells me I need to wait, then I go work on actually turning them into products, because you have to do that too. So if you work with your workflow and your scheduling of what you're doing when, it's not really that bad. And trust me, I've tried some other platforms where you run out of credits and then you have to, it's just a pain. Most of the time you get very few credits to actually do. And with me, the way I like to go through and I change this and I change that, and I may not use that right then, but then I can go back later, because as I'm building the pack I want to build, I'm also realizing and creating additional packs that I'll go back and then take that prompt that looked really good and then turn it into different things. But aren't these so super cute? Now, wouldn't these be so super cute, like to have also like a wreath? Let's see what that does. I'm just curious to see if all those could kind of go together. Let's see what a wreath would look like. It's still kind of got that porcelain thing, so I'd love to have like a porcelain looking wreath. Now that is not a porcelain looking wreath, but it is a really super cute little wreath. So it could go in a different pack. How cute. I mean, just love it. Those are all really cute, and they would make their own adorable little package. How cute would that be? This, you know what that would look cute as? That would be so cute as a little image, like for the people that are doing the dollhouse things. You could sell like a whole pack of floor. I may do that. I'm probably going to do that for my first attempt at the dollhouse thing niche. for the little, that would be so cute to make the little images that you could, they could cut out or whatever for a wreath. And like the little things to go beside the door, like the front door and stuff like that. That would be cute. Anyway, look how cute all the things we made today. I hope you were creating right along with me. Those are so much fun. Okay, so anyway, so let's just run down things. Okay, I used the new Winter and Christmas Art and Clipart Playbook. I also used the AI Artist Playbook Animals. Both of those right now, as of 8/5 of 2026, are still on sale. You can pick those up for $9.99. That is like 75% off of their price. So if you don't want to miss out, go ahead and grab those, and before the price goes back up. And if not, if you're watching this way in the future, I can't anticipate what it would be now, but or then. But I do like to run lots of sales, so just keep an eye out and everything. Also, be sure and always visit the description for the videos, because that's where you're going to find my website address. If you go under freebies, there's actually a little couple of freebies under there. Also, there's on the website a way to sign up for my newsletter. Lots of helpful stuff there. And then, of course, the links to, you can see all the different playbooks. I do have some of my videos like categorized, but to be honest, I haven't updated that in a little while. So that may or may not be updated. So the place to go, obviously, is YouTube to find all of my videos. But if you just want to kind of go back and look for particular subjects or whatever, you may want to check out that on the website. It's Design It with Tammie Gibbs, and Tammie is spelled TAMMIE .com. And that link will be in the description, and along with a link to join my Facebook group. So if you're not already a member of my Facebook group, please go and join. It's a great way to interact with me on a more regular basis. And we talk about Artistly, we talk about pretty much everything. It's not, I have a lot of people in my group that don't use Artistly. So, don't feel like you're going to be completely left out. I mean, yes, that's what I use and what I demonstrate, but all of my playbooks were created with everyone that uses an AI generator in mind. All the, you may have to make certain tweaks, and certain things may not give you the exact results that I get when I'm using certain things if you're using a different generator. But I have many that use different generators, and they are super satisfied with their results. So I as of yet, I've had some people ask me about doing like a subscription thing and a subscription membership and all. Right now, I mean, I may change my mind, and when you're watching this, I may have one. But right now, I've kind of been concentrated on giving you some resources that you will be able to refer back to. Basically, you pay for it, and then it's your resource, and you can just refer back to it, and you can create and create and create and create. And you don't necessarily have to. Now, a lot of people do like to buy the different ones and have the whole entire library. Thank you to all of you who have purchased. But, you definitely could benefit from having one, for sure. So, I don't have a membership yet. If I decide that I can add a value for that above and beyond what I do with my videos for you guys in my Facebook group, and then of course the playbooks, and then for the ones that don't want to create, I do have my art there as well. But if I do, then, definitely I'll let you guys know. But anyway, I don't want to take up any more time. I know this one was a little longer compared to some of the others, but it is getting towards the holiday season. I've done a couple with Christmas stuff, and I'm probably going to be doing some fallish things, and I'm going to be able to kind of show you how to do that with some of the the current playbooks and stuff. If for some reason you have not checked out the holiday merchandising playbook, that's a little different from prompting and stuff. It's going to tell you popular colors. It's going to tell you when to plan out based on whether you're selling to a creator that's going to use your images for creating other end products for Christmas and for the different holidays. And it has like all of the holidays basically. And then it explores some of the psychological reasons that people buy during the holidays. And it's going to open up, I'm going to do a video on that, so watch for that video, but it's going to open up your eyes to potentially some underdeveloped niches, mainly by identifying a different person that is buying and why their motivation for buying during the holidays. Most of us have tunnel vision, and we think only very narrowly about who might buy our products, and that is where everybody is looking. But there are other people that are buying for other reasons and buying for other people that are not in the mainstream of what we're typically fixing, as far as products. So that's definitely somewhere that you should look, because if there are those people that are purchasing also, and everybody else is concentrated on one buyer, and this other buyer can't find things that apply to them and the way they are why they're wanting to give and what they're wanting to give or do, or activities or whatever, then it can be still a very vibrant market that you could make good money with without being oversaturated. So I think that's enough for almost another video. And the merchandising playbook goes into great detail for all the holidays, into that psychology and into identifying those additional buyers that you can discover new markets with. So just in case you didn't kind of know what is a holiday merchandising playbook, like what is this? I'm going to try to do a video so I can kind of explain it a little bit better. It's more than, I will say it's way more than a calendar that just tells you when to start preparing and when to list your products. It does have that information as well, but it goes into great detail so that you are not behind the 8 ball when you're trying to create for holidays, because we don't have just like the upcoming like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then it's going to all start over again. And if you don't go ahead and plan for it, those holidays can really be missed opportunities. And I'm guilty of it, because it seems like before you turn around there's another holiday to get ready, and I'm just my calendar has always been a little off. The merchandising playbook has been very good for helping me plan for next year and the coming holidays and everything. So anyway, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned something, and maybe you'll go and experiment and try a few different little angles on the different things that you can adjust within your prompt and include within your prompt to get different looks. And I hope that watching me do it is a lot different than just hearing about it. So, seeing it in action, making those choices, seeing that you can apply a felt with stitched look and how it can change your image, just that one phrase. All of these things are super important. We're getting into a time when AI art is transitioning, and we're going to have to be on our toes. We're going to have to be bringing it, to the market, and we're going to have to look different than what everybody else is creating. And so that's what I enjoy trying to help you do. So have a great day, and until next time, happy creating.